Dormayo, home of a great night's sleep.
Hi. Where have you been? What have you been doing?
Really on far. Look at this. Well, I get back to life. Back to life.
Yes.
I've not been out of the pub. I've not been out of a restaurant. I've not been out of the gym. Not necessarily in that order, because you go to the gym first, don't you? In it, and then you go pub.
Supposedly, yeah. Whoever Jim is.
You know what my mum's like, God bless her, for a bit of a refreshing beverage. So, I've been taking Dot back out, blinking into the sun, into polite society, which is great. We went up to Scotland to see some friends, which was magnificent.
Wonderful.
It was quite poignant, actually, because we were staying in the hotel that we were staying in when lockdown happened, just before lockdown happened. So we came back on a rattler before Boris locked us all down on the Monday officially. So it was the Saturday before Mother's Day, and they were locking up the hotel and literally said, we'll leave you with the night manager, Richard, called Joaquin. Normally would be a blessing. But at that point, obviously, we were up to high door, as they say in Scotland, and we needed to get back. So I wanted to get Mum back up to Scotland to see our friends and family, to sort of square the circle. And it was really emotional, actually. So, it was great to be back to Caledonia. It was great. In fact, I was so excited that after Good Morning Britain, on the day that we were leaving on a Rattler North to Alriki, I downloaded like the Celtic Thunder playlist.
Whoa! What is that?
Caledonia's calling me, and now I'm coming home. Oh, it was all of that. I know. So just a bit giddy, and I have missed you. So it's just been a bit giddy, really. And I suppose lots of work things have sort of started creeping back, and I've been catching up with a few people. Like, last week, I missed out on a chat with you ladies because I had to go and see Fast and Furious 9. I know. How did they ever manage? Well, it's a huge movie franchise, as you know. I'm not a petrol head, but it was so nice to go to the IMAX cinema in Leicester Square and see the action unfold, larger than life. And as we've said on this show countless times, you know, for us theatre and cinema lovers, just to hear the rattle of Maltesers again, and people, you know, the anticipation, the chatter before the film started. So the reason I was going to see it is because I interviewed Dame Helen Mirren, who is reprising her role of Queenie. She plays a sort of gangster's matriarch of a gangster family. And it's her second outing in the franchise. But in this one, she actually gets to drive. You can catch the interview on Good Morning Britain next week. But she actually gets to drive. She calls them popcorn movies. And she says, I love doing the serious movies, but, you know, I absolutely love doing these popcorn films. And she's shoehorned into this car with Vin Diesel. And I've met Vin Diesel before, and he is a big unit. I know. I did ask her, I said, was it a stick shift, as they say in America? But anyway, no spoiler here. She gets to tear down the Mall outside Buckingham Palace. She looks sensational, obviously. And like a lot of people who've sort of been stranded across the pond, because she's been in America with her partner, her husband. And so she's just desperate to get back to the smoke, to London, to the city she loves, and catch up with her sister and her family and stuff. But she was on cracking form. It was so hot, though, because I was interviewing her in Dickie's Den as opposed to the dressing room here at Television Centre. And you know what the weather's been like recently. And this is before the weather broke. So Dickie's Den, normally a haven, you know, away from the weather. But I had such a bead on. My clothes were literally slipping off, which I know is something you girls can only dream of and possibly have. But I was literally, Paul O'Grady, as you know, lovely Debbie McGee always says, you know, sweating like a glass blower's bottom. And I really was. I had such a bead on. But anyway, Dame Helen was on sparkling form. So, just been getting back to, you know, a bit of work and stuff. So it's
can I just say the picture behind you?
Yes. The one that should be in the attic. Sherry, we've been through this before. And Debbie McGee, lovely Debbie McGee, has seen this before. Because she's been in here in this very dressing room 5 with my lovely cockapoo Clemmy. This was painted by a fan when we went on the road years ago. And we brought it back in the van, in the crew van. I wish she'd given me a few more teeth, but actually, Debbie, Debbie and I did Strictly the Christmas special in 2019, which Debbie won. Finally, she won. And this is the original picture from when I did Strictly in 2012 that they copied it from.
Wow.
So it's hung
Oh,
it's hung with a bit of
2012.
irony. No ego here at all.
No.
Easy
So
come to you, darling. I think.
I know. So you guys obviously are hurtling towards your own foray back into show business, back on the
Yes.
board.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
28.
Are you
Monday
going to come and
week.
see us, Richard? Are you going to be in the audience, or you don't know yet?
Debbie, you know, I would rather open a vein. No, I'm not going to be there. I can't.
Oh, my goodness.
I know you've got all sorts of bawdy showbiz tales to recount, and you're being helped by a lot of celebrity pals as well. Got one, I gather, also taking a turn and stuff.
Yes,
so
yes.
it's great. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Debbie, we've been doing this show. I've been in and out of it for over a year, Debbie, and I've actually not seen these gals in the flesh.
For a long
Yes.
time.
For a long
Yes.
time. In fact, Dee and I have never met at all, although she haunts every waking and sleeping moment.
Yeah. It's true. But we
So-
are going to, aren't we, Richard? We're going to see each other on Tuesday the 29th.
Yes, we
I
are.
mean, it could be Thursday by the time we finish lunch, but
It will.
who doesn't love drinking in daylight? Debbie McGee.
What have you two now? Now this is too much. Now, come on, Debbie. What have you and Richard been up to together? Now I
Yeah.
need to know. I need to know.
We did. Debbie and I have obviously crossed paths many times over the years. In fact, I first interviewed Debbie and the lovely late Paul, of course, on a show called Loose Lips with Melinda Messenger, way back, I think in the early 2000s.
Oh, yes.
Our paths have crossed many, many times since then. But most notably, I finally got to see Debbie trip the light fantastic, the most extraordinary quick step I've ever seen in my life on the Christmas special for Strictly 2019. And of course, that was the last Strictly before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we were really lucky to have the full experience with the full audience and just to be back under that board. And honestly, watching Debbie McGee tear up that rug, I was literally like, right, clacking off. I thought, there's no way you can follow that. But you loved it, didn't
Richard,
you, Debbie?
you were brilliant as the Grinch.
So
That's what they all say.
I love a bit of Christmas. A day without Christmas is like a day without sunshine. But I was dressed in the Grinch. One day I suppose a backstage photo because I was in some sort of modesty all-in-one thing, sort of green lycra. You know what dancers are like, nothing's left to the imagination. And then they covered me in sort of green fuzzy felt. And of course, they do, as you know, the wonderful thing about doing a show like that is you get all the bells and whistles and everybody's tickling you tonsorially and slapping makeup on. But of course, I had to be ready quite a while before I did my turn, and the Christmas special is pre-recorded, as we know. So, blimey, did they drag it out. I was, back to that phrase, sweating like a glass below his bottom. I was so rinsed because I was, like I say, in this all-in-one green outfit, which led nothing to the imagination. And then for the sake of the family watching at home and all the kids at Christmas, they covered me in this very fuzzy felt thing. But it was extraordinary because you don't sort of get to do those things every day, So
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Possibly at the weekend, Sherry. Now that takes yeah.
Also, Richard, when we were much better behaved, we've met a few times now with your mum and my mum. Shall I say where?
Yes.
Buckingham Palace.
Oh my! Oh,
the garden party.
Yes.
That in.
That's right.
And your mum and my mum have, when they've gone back each year, kind of, become a little bit pally because we go off talking to all the soldiers and everybody. Yeah. So that we leave them having tea. Yes, I'm saying no more. I think we're all behaving.
You're so right, Debbie. And it's the Not Forgotten Association, which is a charity that we're both key supporters of. And they have a party for the veterans every year. Of course, they did until the pandemic. And Princess Royal is the patron. It's I took Mum there. It was Erin Bogue, oddly enough, formerly of Strictly, who back in 2013, 2014, introduced me to the charity and took me along to the garden party. And you're right, Debbie. Our mums loved a natter. Well, we did a little foray into the crowd to press the flesh with Her Majesty's Forces. But I did used to work for British Forces Radio, so that's my closest glancing blow with being a Forces sweetheart. I don't know whether you could say the same, Debbie. That's probably a conversation for another time. But yeah, it's a great do. And that first year I did meet the Princess Royal for the first time. And I did ask her if she fancied a quick turn around the lawn, so to speak. And she's got a devilish twinkle in her eye. And
she has.
The problem is I would always lead. And I thought, well, that's me put in my place. And then when you see, I don't know, if you've been lucky enough to meet any members of the royal family, when you see the pictures back, you look like you're practically doffing your cap and toadying them.
Yeah.
You think you've got it under control, but you're literally like, I'm a competition winner.
It's true that.
It is so true. You think you've just roped it in, but you just can't help it. And there's a picture of me with Princess Anne, and I'm laughing like she's just told the funniest joke. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Now go brave.
Like we do to your jokes, Richard.
Oh, please.
Well, not always, of course.
You flatter this old queen. You flatter this old queen.
Well, Debbie's got a lot on the show, on the day before ours.
Oh, Debbie, talk through it.
Yeah, we'll talk another time because we've talked about it on here. But yes, it's a life sawn in half, which I couldn't remember yesterday. But I've been working too hard on it. But yeah, it's just, stories about my life. There might be a few about you in there, Richard.
Oh dear.
Lots of clips and, just lovely anecdotes and funny stories that happened. And, we have had amazing lives, haven't we, and all the people we've met. So,
yeah, very nice.
It's at the mill at Sonning, Richard.
Yeah, lovely theatre.
Oh,
beautiful.
Do you know, Sonning-on-Thames, a dear friend of mine has moved there recently. It is a beautiful part of the world. And she got out of the smoke and got a job in a stately home not too far from here and there. And I saw the mill in Sonning for the first time, it was just a few weeks ago, actually, because I'd never been to that part of the world. But it's where they try out a lot of shows, isn't it? And you get the
Yeah.
And George Clooney lives next door.
Yeah.
We went out on the river on a boat that was no bigger than a piece of Tupperware, right? I mean, it was so low down, I thought we'll never get out of this. Because we had a drink, obviously, refreshingly and responsibly, as always. We took a turn round and saw George Clooney's boathouse, actually, which more often than not is submerged because obviously the tide can sometimes get the better of it. But yes, I would imagine the boathouse is far more humble than his actual mansion. And you can just sort of see the roofs of that through the trees.
Oh.
It's a wonderful part of the world. For all of us, though, I suppose the overriding thing, I mentioned getting back to work and sort of interviewing people and now more and more so in the flesh, is that you guys, all of you, are going to get back to performing, which is what you love, which is amazing.
We hope.
Yes.
And hugging. Richard, don't forget the hugging. We love hugging.
Oh.
Yes. We've missed that, haven't we?
Yes.
We have.
We're all huggy people.
I'm a little bit nervous about how handsy Dee's going to be when we finally get to
Oh
me.
my God.
I know.
I don't worry.
I can't wait.
I tell you what I'll do, Richard. I'll be beside her and I'll wear a pair of handcuffs to keep her away from you, so she can just, you know what I mean. So I can pull her a little bit because she just pull, and she's very small, by the way, very small.
Well, not that
very
small.
Short.
Well, you can see,
That's what
tiny
you.
she is.
I literally thought she'd been kneeling out of deference the entire time we've been doing this show all these months. Well, you bring the handcuffs, and I always bring my lawyer whenever I see Sherry anyway. So I think we'll be covered.
You've got two of us now.
Will we be seeing you next week, darling? Or are you?
I hope so. It depends. They never tell me what I'm doing until the Monday, but we will certainly endeavour to make a cameo.
Okay.
I will be back very, very soon, I promise.
Lovely.
Well, we love you.
so
We love you.
much.
Thank you for joining us, darling. Thank you. It's great to have you back.
And Debbie.
Yeah.
Say, Debbie, you got a lovely gaff.
Debbie McGee.
Debbie McGee.
Yeah. Lovely gaff.
Oh, yeah. Not the other Debbie. She lives in squalor. But Debbie McGee, you've got a lovely gaff.
why I'm even nice to him, I don't know. Get
I
on.
love
We
you
don't
girls.
know.
I love you girls. God bless
Love
you.
you too.
Love you, darling. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Dormail, home of a great night's sleep.